Welcome to part 2 of our projection pattern series. This one will focus on calibrating your projector. If you missed part 1, check the link in the description in order to get information on equipment needed and setting it up. Please note, this video will be beginner friendly but still very technical. Calibration should be done in a darkened room to see the projected image. From the previous equipment video, your projector should still be raised the minimum throw distance, which is the minimum distance between the projector lens and table in order for it to focus. Turn on the projector with the remote and choose HDMI as the projector's input source. If using an HDMI cable, it should be plugged into the projector into your computer. On Windows, right-click the desktop, go to Display Settings. Set the display resolution to 1920 by 1080. Under Multiple Displays, choose Duplicate these displays. This will show the computer's desktop image as the projected image. If using a Chromecast, you'll need to cast your computer screen to the Chromecast, which should be plugged into the projector. To do this, open Chrome, the 3 dots, Cast. In the Sources drop-down, choose Cast Screen. Then select your Chromecast device, and you'll see your device's screen as the projected image. Download the calibration file from our site. You will also need Adobe Acrobat Reader to open it. See the description for a link to both. Open the calibration file. The steps to calibrate are associated with the layers in the calibration file. In Adobe Acrobat Reader, go to View, Show Hide, Navigation Panes, Layers. The layers are labeled with the appropriate step used for calibration. Moving forward, when I refer to a layer, hide all other layers and just view that specific layer. Next, we're going to roughly get the projection the same size as your cutting mat. Hide all layers so just white light is projected. To enter full screen mode, press Ctrl L and adjust the zoom by pressing Ctrl Y. Select from the drop-down Actual Size and hit OK. An edge-to-edge white screen will be projected. Put your cutting mat on the table so it's parallel with the edge of the table. Exact placement is not necessary at this time. A ladder will be used to make adjustments to the equipment. Follow ladder safety precautions when making any adjustments and always tighten the screws to lock equipment into place. If the projection is shining off the edge of the table and onto the floor, tilt up the swivel mount. To do this, use the ladder to access a swivel mount. Support the spigot extension with one hand to take the weight of the projector. Loosen the screw at the pivot point on the swivel mount. Tilt up the projector one click and the projection should be fully on the table. Re-tighten the pivot screw. By raising the extensions of the light stand, the projection will become larger. Start with the upper extension, and if you need to raise it higher, then raise the lower extension. At a certain height, the projection will exceed the edges of the cutting mat, which is ideal. If the projection is once again projecting off the table and onto the floor, make the spigot extension longer. You can do this by attaching extra spigot studs from your kit to extend it. Use this image as a reference. If it's still not long enough, you may need to purchase an additional spigot stud set. Exit full screen mode by hitting Escape. Turn on the focus layer and return to full screen, Ctrl L. Zoom, Ctrl Y, and select Fit Page. On the projector, we'll be adjusting the focus dial and the keystone dial. This is where they are located on the projector. Twirl the focus dial to focus the projection. If unable to focus, raise the light stand extension and try again. The center will be more in focus than the edges. Focus the best you can. You can place white paper on the mat to make focusing easier to see. Next, holding the spigot extension in one hand, loosen the tightening screw on the swivel mount that is holding the spigot extension in place. With it slightly loosened, twist the spigot extension until the projector is projecting straight down and not twisted right or left. Do the best you can and then re-tighten the screw to lock in place. Refocus if needed. Escape to exit full screen. Turn on the horizontal and vertical lines layer, return to full screen, and zoom, selecting Fit Width. Grip the base of the upper extension of the light stand. Loosen the upper extension screw. Don't lower the extension, but instead twist the extension to rotate until the projected horizontal line is parallel with the horizontal lines on your cutting mat. The lines don't have to be on top of each other, just parallel. When good, retighten the screw. Realize you may need to pan the screen by holding left click and moving the mouse to find the projected thicker lines and move them in the center of your screen. Adjust the cutting mat until the mat's center horizontal line matches the projected horizontal line. For any further adjustments, move the mat and not the equipment. Time to adjust the vertical lines. Keeping the horizontal center lines matched up, shift the mat left or right until the projection center vertical line is close to the mat's center vertical line. These lines don't necessarily need to be perfectly on top of each other. We'll adjust the projector's keystone to get the vertical lines parallel with each other. Turn the keystone dial until all the projection's vertical lines look parallel with the mat's vertical lines to the best of the projector's ability. In the end, the outside shape of the projection should be a rectangle instead of a trapezoid. If both the projected horizontal and vertical lines are parallel with the ones on your cutting mat, then you did a good job. If not, keep tweaking. If you need to, you can use the grid layer to see multiple horizontal and vertical lines to tweak the keystone. With the grid layer in full screen mode and zoom set to fit page, notice the center horizontal and vertical lines on the projection are thicker. Move the mat to align its vertical and horizontal center lines with the projections to ensure the mat is squared. Reopen the zoom window and type 30. The projected squares will resize and will probably be smaller than the 1-inch ones of the mat. These need to match, so we'll guess the zoom number until this is the case. If the projected squares are smaller, try a slightly higher zoom number, and vice versa. Realize you may need to pan the screen by holding left click and moving the mouse to find the projected thicker lines and move them in the center of your screen. If the image is too big to fit on the screen, make sure to pan before moving the mat to the projected lines. Every time you make a zoom adjustment, center your mat on the thicker projected lines. Keep adjusting the zoom number until you get as close to perfect to matching the mat's 1-inch by 1-inch squares. You can also use decimals like 40.3 to fine-tune the zoom number. The end result should be a grid that matches as perfectly as possible. On a large cutting mat, lines may start to deviate toward the border of the projection. Even here, my precision was off about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. The point is to get the precision as close as you can. Don't expect perfection. If the zoom seems correct and the center area of the screen matches close to perfect, but the projected vertical lines veer off the mat's vertical lines going toward the edges, it could be the projector is slightly twisted. For example, the projected thicker vertical and horizontal lines match the mat's center, but looking at the edges of the projection, the vertical lines start to get further and further left of the vertical mat lines. The spigot extension might be slightly twisted to favor the left side. To correct, twist the spigot extension to ensure the projection is going straight down. Twist the spigot extension counterclockwise if the projector is favoring the left side, or twist clockwise if the projector is favoring the right side. Another way to check if the projector is not pointing straight down is to hide all layers, go full screen, and zoom to actual size. This will fill the screen with white light all the way to the edges. You can measure the length of the left and right sides of the projection. If these don't match, the projector is likely twisted instead of facing straight down. If the left side is larger, the projector is favoring the left side, and vice versa. After making an adjustment, recenter the cutting mat and adjust the zoom if needed. Repeat if necessary. When you get your projector calibrated as best you can, make sure to write down any numbers to make the next time you do this easier. Record your throw distance, zoom percentage number from Adobe Acrobat Reader, and also the dimensions of the projected image on your table. With projection calibration completed, you can move on to part 3 of the series to see patterns and cutting. See a link in the description. Our book, Professor Pincushion's Beginner Guide to Sewing, Garment Making for Nervous Newbies, is now available to order. Go to professorpincushion.com/books or click on the link in the description to see a list of vendors where you can purchase it.